Welcome back to the CryptoBot channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of Bitcoin is playing out a short-term cool-off as expected after the recent breakout to the upside. And so in just a moment, I'll be talking about where Bitcoin and Ethereum are potentially about to head next. So definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a really quick update on the daily Bitcoin chart. And right now, technically speaking, the price of Bitcoin is still in a bullish trend on the daily time frame because we're still in a higher high, higher low price structure. And on top of that, we are still seeing bullish momentum in the daily Bitcoin price oscillators. And so once again, as of right now on the daily time frame, technically speaking, the price of Bitcoin is currently still looking more bullish than bearish. And as for some important levels of support and resistance here on the daily Bitcoin chart, right now we have some significant resistance at around 22,500 and around 25,000 based on these previous highs on the daily time frame. And as for significant support levels, we still have a lot of support in this price range coming into play in between around 18,500 and 19,000. And now if you zoom into the shorter term, taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, right now the price of Bitcoin as of recording this video is still trading above this previous golden pocket level of resistance, which is technically a bullish sign for the trend. But like I said in my last video that I posted yesterday on the channel, the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI just recently entered into overbought territories, which was telling us that the Bitcoin price was getting a little too overheated just in the short term, and that we're due to see a bit of a short-term cool-off, which usually plays out either in the form of choppy sideways price action or a slight pullback in the price of Bitcoin. And that's basically what we've seen over the last one day. And while this has been playing out, obviously we've seen the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI begin to reset back down towards its neutral value, although as of right now, obviously it hasn't reached all the way back down towards its neutral value, which is 50. But technically speaking, because it's now moved out of overbought territories, we now have some more room to the upside in the somewhat shorter term for the price of Bitcoin. But with that being said, even though the RSI has a little bit more room to the upside now compared to yesterday, if you're looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD, this is still suggesting that the price of Bitcoin is due to play out a little bit more of a short-term cool-off, because if you're looking at the momentum right now in the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD, as of right now, this short-term bullish momentum is still declining, and in fact, as of recording this video, the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD is getting extremely close to potentially experiencing another short-term bearish cross, and the last time we saw that was just back here around 1 to 2 weeks ago, and that was the beginning of a bit more of a short-term cool-off in the price of Bitcoin, but that didn't necessarily break this overall bullish trend. And so once again, in terms of the trend, we are still looking more bullish than bearish just in the short term, but in the more imminent short term within the bullish trend, we're potentially still due to see a bit more of a short-term cool-off, kind of like this move or this move, for example. And now when it comes to support and resistance levels in the short term, we have some short-term support at this previous golden pocket level of resistance, which is coming into play in between around 20.9k to 21k. But if the price of Bitcoin confirms a break back below around 20.9k, then the next support to the downside that I'll be watching is sitting at around 20.3k. Anything below that, then I'll be looking towards around 20k, around 19.8k, and around 19.1k as short-term support levels if the prior support levels get broken first. And as for some short-term resistance levels, we still have resistance at around 21.7k and around 22.7 to 22.8k based on this previous local high. And now if you take a look at the daily Ethereum to US dollar chart, we can see that right now the price of ETH has just confirmed a bearish divergence between the price action and the RSI, because what we can see obviously in the daily candle closes is a higher high in the price action, but a lower high in the daily Ethereum RSI. And so this is technically a signal on the chart telling us that we're due to see a bit more of a cool-off for the price of ETH on the daily time frame, which in most cases, if we're looking at a bearish divergence on the daily time frame, plays out over around 1 to 2 weeks on average. And now it is important to understand that that doesn't necessarily mean a full-on trend reversal from this more bullish price action into another bearish trend because, for example, we saw something very similar back here towards the end of July. We saw a bearish divergence between the price action and the RSI. And in fact, during that entire time period just there, we saw two separate bearish divergences. We saw one right here and one right here, a larger bearish divergence. And basically, the outcome of each of these bearish divergences was a short-term cool-off, which in these examples lasted for roughly around 1 week before we continued higher later on. And while we're seeing this bearish divergence in the daily Ethereum RSI, we're also seeing some declining bullish momentum in the daily Ethereum MACD, which once again is pointing towards a bit more of a cool-off in terms of this bullish price action. Basically, this bullish momentum is slowing down on the daily time frame as of right now. And so simply based on these technical signals that we're seeing right now on the chart, we could be due to see perhaps around 1 week worth of either sideways price action or a bit of a pullback for the price of ETH. And obviously, if you watched my last video on the channel, I did mention this, but not for the daily time frame. I just mentioned it on the 4-hour time frame in my last video, because obviously we also have a bearish divergence here in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI between the 4-hour RSI and the price action, obviously. And once again, like I said yesterday, right up here, I said that we're due to see a bit of a short-term cool-off due to this bearish divergence, which is active on the chart right now. And obviously, over the last 1 day, that's pretty much exactly what we have seen over the last 1 day. We've definitely seen reduced bullish momentum, as we have seen a slight pullback over the last 1 day. But technically speaking, if you're looking at the price action alone, this is still technically a bullish trend, because obviously we're still forming higher lows and higher highs as of right now. But we're potentially reaching a stage in this bullish trend where we're beginning to lose some more bullish momentum, and we could continue to see either more sideways price action or even a bit more of a short-term pullback, kind of like what we've seen over the last 1 day. But once again, this can still occur within a bullish trend. And now when it comes to short-term support and resistance levels to watch, right now we still have some short-term resistance at around 1650, and anything above that level, if we see a confirmed breakout, then I would expect some more resistance up here at around 1780, close to 1.8k based on this previous local high. And as for support, we do have this previous golden pocket level of resistance, which should now be acting as new support, and that's sitting at roughly around 1550 to 1560. But if the price of ETH confirms a break below around 1550, then the next support to the downside that I'll be watching is sitting at around 1480, and anything below that level, then I'll be looking down towards around 1410, around 1330, and around 1280 as some other short-term support levels if the prior support levels get broken first. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is pumping, dumping, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to check out these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is either bullish or bearish, and the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.